Meanwhile, the Scarlet Witch and Vision have their twins, and they name one of the boys William after Simon Williams. But there was a pretty big setback when Vision is kidnapped, dismantled, and put back together as an emotionless, memoryless cyborg machine by the New World Order, by the world government. The Scarlet Witch, his wife, asks Simon if he would please donate his brain engrams, this time voluntarily, to imprint onto Vision's mind, so hopefully he'll get his personality and emotions back. And Wonder Man refuses. And it's actually for pretty selfish reasons. He's in love with Scarlet Witch, and right now he feels like, well, if Vision's gone, then I'm going to shoot my shot. I'm not going to help bring him back. Dude, no. So he declines. He eventually truly regrets that decision, but at this point, the Vision decided he didn't want him after all. He was cool the way things were, and then after, the twins disappear, Scarlet Witch goes full-blown criminally insane, the first of a few times she does, and she teams up with her brother and their father, Magneto, and decides, I'm going to go visit my friends on the West Coast. So she shows up in Avengers West Coast, number 56 in 1989. Evil Wanda seemingly kills Wonder Man, then resurrects him and holds him, her mentor, Agatha Harkness, U.S. Agent Wasp, and Janet Pym all hostage inside the Avengers West Coast mansion. Like, they're all paralyzed. They can't move. They can't do anything. This is where it gets pretty dark. And I didn't mention this in my Scarlet Witch video, but evil, criminally insane Wanda starts toying with Simon and mocking how he's always loved her and that she's always known. Starts taunting him like, don't you want me? Don't you want this? And digs her nails into his pretty much invulnerable skin, rips off his clothes, and kisses his special purpose against his will. So she molests him in front of everybody. She did that in front of U.S. Agent Wasp. She doesn't care. She just does. But as painful, traumatic, and violating and mortifying as this is, he never truly believed it was really her doing it. He never believed it was really her. And while Wanda recovers from, entering the mouth of rapey madness and trying to destroy, all of reality, it's Simon that remained by her side and supported her and helped her convalesce. He later asks her on a date, which then gets interrupted by now undead Grim Reaper, of course. Such a buzzkill. But afterwards, Wanda tells Simon that, I really don't feel the way that you do, and I think we should just be friends and just never date again, okay? Wow. She's not nice. Wonder Man battles old foes like Goliath and the Enchantress. All the while, his agent is still able to get him acting jobs. However, Simon wants more serious roles, but that all gets pretty much undermined when the studio hires for him a sidekick named Spider, and then hired his sister Ginger to be Simon's fake girlfriend, whom he absolutely was not interested in. He had his eye on a screenwriter named Alex, beautiful blonde woman who had a daughter. As weird as his life has been so far, I assure you it gets weirder, because he battles this woman who volunteered for a medical experiment where they were using gamma rays to cure PMS and cramps, and she gets turned into an abomination type creature. It's she gets turned into a PMS monster. They should keep that in continuity. They should. I'd love to see the PMS monster back. Wonder Man and the emotionless Vision get called in to help with the Kree Shi'ar war. They both were unable to stop this negabomb from detonating, and both Vision and Simon were were caught in the blast that eradicated 98% of the Kree Empire. So like 98% of their entire population across their galaxy, dead, gone, no more. 98% is billions and billions of people just gone like that. Both White Vision and Simon survive. However, Simon's powers were really, really unstable, and he started leaking his ionic energy. This accidentally grants superpowers to those around him: Spider, Ginger, Alex, and her daughter. He begins getting really short-tempered and angry, and he even kills an opponent he had accidentally granted powers to. His name was Angkor. Like, he could absorb anger. He became like a rage monster, this guy. And he absorbed all of Simon's anger and rage and was getting bigger and stronger, so Simon killed him. He even scared this gang hitman named Freddie Munson to death. Like, he was pretending like he was going to punch him in the face, but he would punch the ground right next to his head. And the guy had a heart condition, so he ended up having a heart attack and it killing him. He had a heart condition prior to this, and Simon had no idea that he had a heart condition, so there were no charges pressed. If this were to take place in this day and age, Simon Williams would be in prison for the rest of his life, I assure you. Because of his anger and growing instability, he was actually asked to leave the Avengers, and he was going to quit acting too, but his agent offered him a leading role in a cinematic version of Macbeth. Now, it has been reprinted as Hamlet, but that was a misprint. That's a mistake. The play in question was Macbeth. But this turned out to just be a ploy by a crime lord by the name of Lotus in LA. She just wanted to get him out of town. While he was out of town, the people that he had accidentally empowered with the ionic energy formed a short-lived crime-fighting team called the Crazy Eights. Lotus actually sent assassins to kill them, and Alex was critically injured, so Simon returned just in time to get her to a hospital. Simon is then dragged into a conflict with Mephisto, and he has to actually go to hell and battle Mephisto and Blackheart. He then learned that he was immortal. Like, that's cool. So there's a plus. Nice. While he was there, he was attacked with false memories and revelations that were meant to confuse and disorient him. But he was able to fight through all the falsehoods, and he ends up embracing his humanity once and for all and rededicates himself to being a true hero. He was also able to convince Blackheart to completely heal Alex by telling him it would really piss off your dad, Mephisto. And Blackheart's like, bet, done. Once he escaped hell, he meets up with the Crazy Eights and reabsorbs his ionic energy, thus pretty much depowering them for the most part. His own powers had finally stabilized, and he even learns that he can fly now. Handy. His time spent in savagery followed him for a while and did cause conflict between him and the Hulk. He never strayed from his path, though, and continued to work and fight to prove himself. His relationship with Alex continued to grow, and they set about actually getting married and even discussed adopting Spider, his sidekick, since his older sister Ginger had recently been arrested for endangering a minor. When the Avengers West Coast, renamed, disbands after a dispute, Wonder Man, at the prodding of Iron Man, becomes the founding member of its successor group, Forceworks. This also reunites him with his longtime love, Scarlet Witch. But the remnants of the Kree attack, blaming Simon for the destruction of their empire. However, their ionic energy cannon malfunctioned and threatened to destroy the entire Earth. So Wonder Man takes it, flies up outside of Earth's atmosphere right in time for it to explode. Of course, he didn't get away in time, and it disintegrates him, spreading his ionic energy all over the skies of California. Months later, the Scarlet Witch finds that she's able to pull his ionic energy back together while she's in a battle with Morgan Le Fay. She soon realizes that she can pull him back whenever she needs him, and that it's his love for her that keeps him tethered to the earth. She continues to summon him on multiple occasions until he's actually able to summon himself while she's sleeping. Until one night, she summons him into the bedroom, and they spend the night together. Several months later, during a battle with the Grim Reaper, yet again, the Scarlet Witch is able to finally acknowledge her repressed love for Simon, and Simon is able to completely and wholly be resurrected.
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you!